Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I am back again doing your mid-January 2015, did I say 2015? 2016 monthly tarot horoscopes. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Aquarius. And I had to pause my computer for a moment, but I did lay out a spread, and it is quite, I want to say, a very intricately detailed kind of month. January is for you in general, okay? And by the time you've reached mid-January, I want to say you've started fresh. There's sort of like a new path or a new outlook that you might have, or something new. It feels very new that either you're starting or you want to start, because you have the Judgment card crowning you. And that's middle January. And for those of you who are new, I like to do mid-January videos because they kind of check in to see what's going on with the energies. Are the energies just a continuation, or is there something drastically different? Because we all shape our future, okay? So we're all sort of participating and shaping the future. So the thing about the middle of January is, to me, there's this sense of like, it's like a new year. Like the new year is mid-January. For some of you, it might actually be February. But you may be feeling like, almost like you've reached a point in time where you really you're starting over, whether you're starting over in a relationship, or whether you're starting over in a business, or whether you're starting over in life, whether you're starting a new job. There is this sense of the new here. And there's a lot of stuff about legal stuff, maybe recently happening in the past, or it could be even recent past, beginning of January, even farther back though than that. It could be farther back than that, because the Justice card is about divorce. It's also about any kind of lawsuits that you may have had. It's also about karma, where things are working out, but they don't necessarily feel like they're working out. And you may still have a little tinge of doubt, or like not believing that things are going to work out in your favor, because perhaps they didn't work out in your favor, or there were things that were going on that you felt were really unjust. And so this is, for some of you, it's divorce. For some of you, it absolutely is divorce. Thinking about divorce, contemplating it. For others, it's a legal situation that you may have been in, or there may have been some things that have gone on. It may not even be legal, okay? It could have been stuff that went on that was really about you completing karma. Karma being completed, and then you moving on to the next. You're like, okay, I've done that, check. You took that, okay, check, and now you're like, okay, what's next? What comes next? I'm ready for the next thing. And the Justice card is also about indecision, indecisiveness. So there may have been something in the recent past that you were just kind of going back and forth about, and you've been sitting on the fence for quite some time about, okay? Because you have the Strength card, which is a test, matching up with this Justice. However, the Strength card usually ties in with the Three of Wands, because it's almost the same energy. And the Three of Wands is staying on the waiting, thinking, going back and forth, should I, shouldn't I, for an extended period of time. And the weird thing is Aquariuses are very fast. They're very decisive. So the problem is this might have been like a moral issue. This may have been something where you were like, they did something wrong, and you're like expecting justice for it, but you don't get justice for it because it's something that is a karmic thing. And when karmic things happen, you can't really find it, okay? It's elusive. It's justice according to the universal laws, which is not about you. It's about your lessons. It's about your soul's growth, and it kind of can suck a little bit at the time. So you may be going through a messy divorce. Some of you may be going through a messy divorce, and there may have been some kind of issues within the relationship that were immoral, such as cheating, negative stuff like that, okay? For those of you who are not in a relationship, this is deliberation. This is going back and forth and going, should I, shouldn't I? What am I going to do next? You know, thinking things through for an extended period of time. Middle of January, you've got some really tough energy it's almost, I'm not even really sure what I make of it just yet. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to maybe come back to it. But you have the Hermit card in the center of everything. So there may be some processing. A lot of major arcana here. You've got 4 major arcanas, boom, middle of January. Lessons. Things kind of being wrapped up. You do have a few majors in the future, but I feel like the past is heavy with lessons. So, you know, you may be just revisiting the past a lot. You know, mid-January, maybe thinking about the past, you know, wondering about your future, but also thinking about the past. What somebody said, what somebody did, what your part in it was. You know, some of you may be getting sucked down in kind of drama. Be careful of that. I would avoid that. Okay, but this is processing. This is going into the cave and thinking things through. Some of you need to take time to do that, and some of you have taken time to do that. You know, starting off mid-January, you may have already been doing that. I mean, to me, that's my feeling. You may have just been, you know, in the cave, kind of, you know, pondering the universe, like Aquarius says, pondering the universe, going, what am I doing? Where have I been? Where am I going? All these questions. These are the lessons. And what have I learned? What have I really learned? What has so-and-so taught me? What am I, you know, what am I going to take from that? What's the takeaway from that relationship? Even if somebody isn't in your life, it is important for you to realize what the takeaway is or was from that relationship. And, you know, something occurred to me yesterday about trust. I mean, I've been thinking about this for a while, but trust is really an individualized thing, and we're taught when we're young, if somebody breaks your heart, well, then you can never trust again. And that's not true. We should have been taught that when somebody breaks your heart, it's either a karmic thing or it's something that you had to learn so you could grow. Only when we go through sometimes painful things do we really actually grow. And so it's not about trust at all. It's about growth, and it's about learning, and it's about saying, okay, what was I in that relationship for? So if you're in that place where you've broken up with someone and you're trying to move on and you're not feeling like you can trust, or somebody's hurt you, think more about what they've taught you, what you did gain from the relationship, not what you lost. It's very important that you do so. The card that's crossing you is this is a little bit talking about post-traumatic stress. And this is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and there really isn't a card. You can't look this up. There isn't a card out there that talks about this in the same way. You know, because I created this monster, you know, so in reverse it looks like this, but you can imagine this person has fallen off this monster, okay? It's fallen off. In a way, they're free from their, in a way, it talks about time. It talks about how in the past, you may have been driven by an inner desire, or by your desires in general, okay? The beast within you, whether it was a material beast or whether it was a sexual beast, whatever, you know, applies to you, okay? For those of you sexual beasts out there, I'm going to wink, okay? But anyways, the point here is that, you know, you may have been driven by your desires, whether it's, and also by money. So a lot of this is a financial card, you know. You may have been driven, you know, to achieve a certain level of success, whatever all we can envision success as. Everybody has their own definition of success. But you may have been driven to a certain level, and in the past, but now it's almost like you're free from that, those desires. In a way, you've learned the lesson by scraping your knees and understanding that we have everything we could possibly want in this moment. So there's no need to obsess. There's no need to strive. There's no need to really push, you know. This is This is pushing forward, but in a reckless way. So by falling off the horse, or by learning the lesson, maybe through some loss, either financial loss, or just understanding that, you know, in a way, no longer being driven by your inner desires. You know, some people, you can talk to other people about what motivates you. You know, what motivates you, Aquarius? Maybe in the past, money was the motivating factor, but now it no longer is. Now you have other goals that's motivating you to move forward. Why? Because you learned through the past lesson of having to give something up financially, or maybe it was selling everything you had and, moving into a small apartment. Whatever it is, you had to give up. You learned from that lesson, or are learning from that lesson now. So some of you may have had to give up quite a lot. Some of you may be a little bit struggling financially, but you are learning the lesson of how to succeed, and how to succeed has nothing to do with money. It's a personal, this is the quest for wealth, okay? It's a personal journey, it's a spiritual journey, and it's different than a monetary journey, okay? This is also sleeplessness. So some of you are having difficult time sleeping. This is also post-traumatic stress and shock. You kind of being in that place of shock and just sort of numb and just like not even knowing what to do next. You're just like, oh my God. Maybe it's like, oh my God, my husband cheated on me. Oh my God, my wife cheated on me. Oh my God, I'm getting a divorce. Oh my God, like the shit's hitting the fan. Oh my God, whatever it is comes that comes after that for you. It's a personal thing, but you may be in a state of shock, and it may take a little bit of time. And again, here's the hermit telling you need to process. You need to take time to process what has happened. Understand why it's happening. Understanding that not everything lasts forever, and that every relationship is a lesson. In some way, somehow, there is something to be gleaned from that relationship. So that's what's crossing you. So that's what's going on mid-January. And some of you have a person who likes the chase in your life. You may be the person that likes the chase, but this is the Five of Wands person. Okay, this is the Five of Wands guy. Okay, so for Aquarius ladies, you may be dealing with a fire sign male, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, primarily, but it can really be anybody in the zodiac. Okay, this is a guy who's run for the hills. So, or this is a person. It may not be a guy, maybe a girl who's run for the hills, who's no longer in your life. Somebody who's ran away, who's left. Okay, this is leaving. Okay, and in some cases, it's not them leaving; it's them coming in and chasing you. For those of you ladies who want to be chased, this is the guy that chases you. Okay. However, for most people, I feel it's less of a person. I feel it's more about bills piling up and you kind of having to get a lot done. This is like the minute you get one thing done, you realize you have to do another thing. And it's just like a lot of things kind of piling up, a lot of little things piling up. This is chaos on some level too, Aquarius. So for those of you who are dealing with kind of like a chaotic household, chaotic lifestyle, going here and there, being very, very busy, this is also you. And this is in the card in the position of the immediate future. I'll show it again just so you can see it here. But as you can see at the bottom, there's all this crud, okay? And I call this the pile of shit card, okay? So for some of you, it's just, feeling like, and it may not actually be where life's become a shit festival, but for some of you, it's things piling up. This is the pile up of responsibilities. This is the pile up of bills. This is the pile up of, what somebody tells you, okay, that is the shit, okay, that's not real, okay. Listen carefully what they say. But this is also the feeling of just having a lot on your plate all at once, having a lot to do, And making sure that you need to take enough time. Again, it's all connected to the Hermit. The center of everything is the Hermit. The Hermit is where you, in the middle of January, where you need to be. So if you're, in a way, alone right now, it's okay, because the Hermit is alone. The Hermit is very reflective. The Hermit is very thoughtful. The Hermit is very spiritual. You need to shine a light on different parts of your life that maybe you haven't seen before or thought of before. This is sort of bringing it all in and saying, okay, what's going on here? What is my plan? What am I going to do? And coming up with some kind of strategy. It's very important that you do so. The foundation is loneliness. Okay, so some of you don't want to be alone. Some of you just want to be with other people, but for whatever reason, people are pissing you off, letting you down, shitting you, they're shitting on you. You could be like a dumping ground, for some people. Maybe people that come into your life this is how you feel. People that you talk to, in a way, are like, maybe they're venting on you, or they're just telling you their problems over and over again, and you're just like, oh my God, like, when is it going to stop? Like, I'm not a therapist kind of thing, you may be feeling that way. Just a lot of crabbing and complaining. So you do have some characters. There's a lot of characters here, and pretty much every single card, there's a person on it. So for some of you, this is family stuff. Some of you may just be fed up with your family. There may just be a lot of drama going on in your family. Someone in your family, it may not be you, might have post-traumatic stress. Somebody may be recovering from some kind of hospitalization, accident, something major where there's recovery time. Because this is recovery. This is some of you, it's just recovering from something that's gone on. Whether it's, like I said, a breakup, divorce, could be something physical that has happened to you, because it's a Pentacles card in the center of everything. For some of you, it's like something really major. Something really, really major. And I don't even really want to put it out there, but I feel like it's something really, really major and that you're recovering from, and it was very traumatic for you. And it's going to take you time to process it and understand what's happened. And I feel like like maybe one or two instances, my guide said something, and it was one singular person, I feel, that had this happen to them, something that was that traumatic. It was really, really bad. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And you'll know who you are when you watch this. But basically, for everybody else, this is being very determined to get ahead, okay, in some way, some form. But in the future, it's almost sort of like, it feels like, for some of you that hasn't had anything major go on, this is you trying to get ahead, but not really feeling like you're getting anywhere. And part of that is because you have the Hermit in the center of everything saying, no, you need to focus on processing everything that's happened, learning from the past, or else you can't move forward. And so it's almost like you have to slow down. You have to pause for a moment. You have to take time. You have to be reflective. You have to meditate. And some of you are going, well, fuck that. I just want to go out and have fun and be with my friends and have things go on. But this is not the time for that, okay? And maybe it's Mercury in retrograde. Most likely it is. But it could also just be your energy and where you're at in your life. That's what's happening. Definitely there's a sleep issue. For some of you, there's a sleep issue, feeling tired, wanting to sleep, because we have sleeplessness crossing you, and then you have the Six of Swords, which is also about getting better sleep, but some of you really do need to focus on getting enough rest, getting enough sleep. I feel like you have the Eight of Wands in the position of emotions, and that's connecting to this sleep card. So for some of you, it's health-related stuff that you're recovering from. Some of you, it's sleep just sleep deprivation for whatever reason. I feel like for some of you who have young children or screaming babies, or, there's a lot of chaos going on around you, this is kind of recovering from that. Some of you who are new moms, taking enough time to rest and recuperate, that is coming up here too. Some of you are pregnant, actually, so that's coming up as well, because you have the High Priestess. Some of you are mediums, so you have psychic ability. To me, the High Priestess is someone who's illuminating things for the world to see, shining the light. We have two things about shining the light here, the Hermit plus the High Priestess. I'm going to show you them together because I feel like this is the energy for, it's almost like a continuation. It's almost like, I just got this, I never realized this before. See, I love the tarot for this reason. It's almost like this is brother and sister. So you and your sister, you and your brother, whoever is watching this, male or female Aquarius, maybe, and you could be twins. Could be, twins that, one of you is male, one of you is female. It could also be two girls or two guys that are twins that are watching this, that are Aquarius. But you're both psychic. You both have psychic ability. You have, you both have psychic ability. You both have the ability to channel or connect with deceased loved ones as a medium would. So this is that medium energy, but this is also shining the light. Some of you are light workers. For those of you who, I feel like strongly you are both light workers. One of you may be in like the church as a light worker. The other one may be, I don't know. I want to say a priest. I don't know why I want to say that. A man of the cloth. I'm not sure what that means for everybody, but like somebody who's on the spiritual path. It doesn't have to be the church, but I feel like a very strong church vibe here too. So some of you may be in, some of you may be like a female pastor. Some of you just may have someone in your life who is very like a female, version of that. Someone who's like a psychic or medium who works doing something like I do for private clients full time. Or who works in the church full time. There's this thing about church, and there's this thing about there's like someone that you have in your family that's close to you. This could even be like a best friend, but you're almost like two peas in a pod, I want to say, or like you're very similar in energy. So both of you are showing up here. It may be where you need to do more. Like if you have like a brother or a sister that's, has mediumship ability, I feel like one of you or, the other needs to kind of develop it more, do more with it. I feel like in a way you already do though. Some of you, there needs to be more development. Others you already kind of do. I feel like some of you already know. It's interesting though. Some of you are hoping to get engaged, I want to say, because I feel like, you think you've met like a soulmate of sorts. You're thinking about marriage. You're thinking about soulmate. You're thinking about, hooking up with someone. You may have the hots for someone because this is the 10 of Cups, and I'm going to wink here for you. This is having the hots, major hots for someone, but also having feelings because you do have the Ace of Cups as well. You have the 10 of Cups plus the Ace. That's 11. Plus you have Fate. So at the end of the month, showing up here. The outcome is the Two of Pentacles, but I pulled several other cards to see what was the deal. Some of you have the hots for somebody and it's going to go somewhere. It's fated for it to go somewhere, okay? And some of you have the hots for somebody who is in another relationship, okay? Because there's the Two of Pentacles. So there's more than one person, okay? Some of you have the hots for someone you shouldn't have the hots for because they're, there's some cheating going on, okay? And some of you are kind of getting into a lover type thing. I don't feel like this Ten of Cups, though, for everyone is just a lover type situation. For some of you, it's like the full thing. Because we have the ring here, the Hermit, and then we have the Six of Cups, which is about family. They may have a family. You may want to have a family. You may have a family. There's a lot with family here. But the Six of Cups is also about not worrying. It's about letting go of the mundane aspects of life, thinking the bigger picture. The Hermit is looking at the bigger picture. The Hermit is saying, you know, it's almost like a mental thing for the Hermit. It's like the Hermit is going back in the videotape of the mind and saying, what did I do? What could I have done better? What are my plans now? Where am I going with this? And looking at the whole thing. Some of you are very focused on finances and the career track, the money track. This is also some of you having money. Some of you, this can be an inheritance towards the end of the month. For some of you, it's an inheritance. But because it's in the position of your attitude, I feel like it's less inheritance. It's more about you, you know, being on the path of this, being famous, fortunate. This is fame and fortune. And having a lot of wealth. I don't feel like you're going to have to worry about money. I do feel like the Ace of Cups is also very positive, showing up there too, for finances. For some of you who are single, this is, you know, you doing very well financially for yourself. I feel like any kind of hardship in the middle of the month, any kind of thing that's just been like really driving you crazy, I feel like that's going to come to an end. I don't feel like you're going to continue on in this place of, I want to say exasperation forever. I feel like it's going to change. The thing is I do feel like there is something, and I said it before and I'll say it again, at the end of January for you Aquarius, that has to do with relationships, that has to do with love, that has to do with a soulmate, a real partner. I just feel, because you have the Emperor there, that it's fated to happen at a certain time, a certain place. So you can't really plan for it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just like, it's boom, it's going to happen. And, you know, for those of you who are in a sticky situation, my suggestion is to get out of it. For those of you who are in any kind of cheating situation, you know, for those of you who want to get into a cheating situation, to stay out of it. Okay, don't go there. But I feel like things are going to improve for you. I feel like you are going to get to a place towards the end of January, which is not so stressful, because yes, you have some major arcana stuff. The High Priestess is major, the Emperor is major, but it's not like it has been. Okay, you're moving out of this time. The beginning of January is really about these lessons, and you are, I want to say, transitioning out of a time of hardship. So if you've been looking forward to things getting better, things getting easier, I feel like towards the end of January things will improve. So long as you stay on the track of the straight and narrow. Again, you know, not being this person. For those of you Aquarius guys, you have to be careful. You know, you don't want to be this person who's juggling too much, because this guy eventually drops the ball. Okay. And it creates bad karma. And the thing about the Justice card in the position of the past is that you were, in a way, supposed to learn from the experiences of the past. So it's very important for those of you to not get involved with there's any kind of double up situation, I want to say. But for a lot of you, this is, you know, some of you are going to be meeting a soulmate, and it's a fated situation. It's really like, you know, the time, the date, it's going to come down to like the time, the date. For some of you, what's going to happen, February 3rd, And I say some of you, it's February 10th is also a date as well to look forward to, which is, I know it's not the end of January, but these are the numbers that I'm getting. Some of you, it's the 31st. I already gave some of these numbers before, and I feel like they're still ringing true. So it may be a few days later than what maybe I said before, but I feel like just towards the end of the month, you know, make sure you're putting on your makeup when you go out. Make sure you've got some business cards when you go out. Make sure that, you know, you're ready to go. Because I feel like for some of you, it's, for those of you who are single and looking, this could be a great time to meet someone. So that's all for right now. Thank you guys so much for watching and liking and subscribing to my videos. I appreciate it so much, and I will be back again for your February videos, you know, probably right around the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, and stay tuned. All right, I send you big hugs, big kisses, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, take care. All the best.